So let's start with our guest for today. It's Shaun Green, and you see his wife there, Nicole. Is that right? First of all, welcome to this edition of Behind the Bench.
Thank you.
Well, John, thanks for the invitation. We really appreciate you inviting us onto the show, and we're looking forward to it.
So, Shaun, you've probably seen him before. The first time I saw Shaun was, of course, on YouTube. I'm a YouTuber where I love to discover things, and whether it's music or sports or whatever. And of course, YouTube feeds you stuff that you want to see. And then here comes Shaun with his SoccerCoachTV, and he filmed a ton of little sessions. And of course, when I was coaching at the time, I used a lot of his stuff, but it was well presented, the filming, the editing, the voice, the enthusiasm that I saw the players have in his sessions. Also very creative in some of the different things he did. So I became a fan of watching Shaun, not thinking that I'd be talking to you in person. But Shaun has one of the largest audiences in the world with his SoccerCoachTV channel and YouTube channel and Instagram and whatnot. Maybe, Shaun, you could talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think we should just end the interview right there. I think it just sounds great so far. Oh, I appreciate it. No, I've been at this game a long time. I mean, I'm 67, just turned 67, and I started coaching when I was 17. So we're looking at like a half a century of doing this stuff. And I always had a passion for computers, even before the internet was available. And it dawned on me, because I used to run around doing tons and tons of clinics. John, it dawned on me that the equity, there's no equity really in coaching other than that check you get at the end of a session. If you're doing a training session or whatever, it could be the best in the world and they give you $300 or whatever it is, you're going to spend that. There's no equity in it. It's gone. Then you move to the next job and then you get paid, but there's no real equity in it. You'll spend the money. And I realized that very early on, probably one of the first in this domain in terms of soccer coaching online, I realized that if I did pretty well on camera, that with this new form of communication, the internet, which is a weapon of mass instruction, I feel, but I felt that if I put it on there, somebody will watch it and there'll be equity in it. And so that's been the case. I've been creating videos since the internet started, even before then, for my own purposes. We had the old big VCR cameras on your shoulder that weighed about 50 pounds. But yeah, I'm probably, and I don't say this with any arrogance or conceit, I'm probably the most videotaped soccer coach in the world. And I'll give anybody $1,000 if they can come up with somebody who's been videotaped more than me. The amount of content that we created for free online has been massive, the volume of it. And that whole journey has been such a learning experience in terms of taking that knowledge that you have as a coach and how do you put it out there on a platform where coaches will enjoy it. And it's amazing that you find that older coaches like myself, many of them are not that savvy with computers or technology. So maybe they're distant from doing this. Younger coaches maybe are savvy with technology, but don't have the vast experience of decades of coaching. So I think it's pretty unique when you get senior coaches like myself who enjoy the technology and embrace it as a learning tool, a global learning tool. But there's some great young coaches out there who are coming through with great content.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that I liked about your sessions is that you could tell the experience of dealing with, and obviously if you've been coaching as long as I have, which is in the 50 years, you've seen kids develop from maybe an 8-year-old all the way up to an adult, and I think you almost need to experience that to really get a feel for for how to communicate with kids and how to develop and how some develop at different stages. I think that kind of shows through in the videos, because I also noticed that you use different age groups for some of the sessions. It's not always your university players, because you coached at the Division I level. So I did notice that, and I thought that was great. And the sound was always good. The height that you got on the video. I'm assuming your assistant there sitting beside you had a lot to do with that.
Oh, she's a director of videography for Soccer Coach TV, and everybody says this about Nicole when we've been involved in all different programs, and she's so dynamic. I mean, you'll see her if you're watching her in training or in a game, covering a game. She'll be sprinting up and down the sidelines. If the winger's going down the field, she often runs past, especially the over 50s. I knew we were in trouble when she was faster than the wingers, because she was going past them with the camera. And but no, it's funny enough, the field we played on this season had this big wire fence behind to stop the balls going, you know, when you miss a target.
Yeah.
And it was about 40 feet up. I'm on the sidelines coaching, and I look up, and she's on top of this fence about 40 feet up. She climbed it like a monkey just to get one shot of the goalie from behind. I mean, she'll do anything to get the shot.
Which I did not tell him about, because I knew he would have told me not to go up there.
No, she'll go anywhere. She's done a phenomenal job, and over the period we've worked together as a team, and not many guys get a chance to do what they love with the person they love, you know. And I love my wife, and you know, she's got a passion for videography, a passion for soccer, a passion for teaching. I mean, for creating content, and you know, we're both a team, and it's just a phenomenal relationship where we both enjoy the same thing.
That's fantastic. It's well done, Nicole.
Thank you.
I have noticed on your videos, you know, you got different angles. Sometimes you're right in there with the players, as though you're a player, and then other times you're at a different angle. So I would recommend anyone. I'm sure you've already seen Shaun somewhere if you've followed soccer on the internet. But if not, look him up. And as your T-shirt says, there, Soccer Coach TV.
John, can I just add, because in case I forget, anybody who's tuned in to watch this podcast and has followed Soccer Coach TV, we really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for taking even just 5 minutes to watch our channel. If you've done that, we're very grateful. We're always appreciating the humble, and have a lot of gratitude for the people who have supported us over the decades. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Big shout out, John, before I forget, to BCFC soccer players who might be tuned in today if they're not working. So I know some of the squad from our over 50 superstars there are probably watching or will watch this afterwards.
I did it.
Yeah.
BCFC!
We're going to get that in
That's
a
my
minute.
trademark for them.
We're going to get that to that in a minute. But one more thing I wanted to bring up, because of your channel, I noticed that you've been all over the world. I guess people have asked you to put sessions on all over the world. Maybe talk to us a bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, because of the fan base we have, we've literally been invited on every continent. You could go from, we can't accept every invitation. We try to look at logistics of, is it safe? Would it be a good experience for us? Just the two of us out there in a strange country. We've been invited to India, all over Africa, Europe. We were in Scotland. We were in England doing sessions. We were in Ireland. We were in Curacao, Bonaire in the Caribbean, Aruba 15 times. We were in Puerto Rico.
Not Aruba 15 times.
No,
Barbados
15 times. Puerto Rico. And, you know, we're always looking. People bring projects to us. We're always looking for projects to maybe do a different story about football rather than the same thing. So it's exciting. We get to travel and be together and do the things that we love. We feel blessed.
Good. And one of the things that you've taken on, a little bit different than just actually coaching your university team and doing videos, is Shaun has decided, or did decide the last year, to take on an old timers team. But was it an over 50 team or
Over
was
50.
it over 50? So I've played up here in Canada. I've had ankle problems, so I found it safer to play hockey than to play soccer as an old timer. So we played a number of years. We call beer league hockey up here with old timers, and we don't usually have a coach. So to have a coach for an over 50 age group, I think is fantastic. And but he decided to take on this job, or not a job, but coaching, on the basis of that he would be allowed to film everything for the whole year, and the organization had to buy into that. And the name of the the team that he coached was called Burlington City FC, which is in Connecticut.
Burlington, Connecticut.
Connecticut, yeah, because we have a Burlington, Ontario, not far from us, right beside Mississauga, actually, but it's Burlington City FC, and so he took on this team that the previous year was dead last in the table, and Shaun took this team. And before we talk about, so what he did is he put it all together and created a documentary. How many episodes, by the way, do you have?
16 episodes.
16 episodes. It's we're going to ask him about it in a minute, but let me just show you, hopefully I can get this to work, a little bit of the trailer. So this is a very simple trailer, but I guess the song that you picked, the way it was filmed, it just, I had to watch it more than once. I enjoyed this. It was just so
I think we have a few
simple.
trailers. I don't know which one you're going to show, but
Oh, okay. Well, I'll show you this one here. It's basically they're standing, it looks like, for the national anthem.
yeah.
So let me just, so I think I have to share my screen here. By the way, if anyone has any questions, you can ask it in the chat. Also in the chat, there's a form you can fill out, so we can keep you up to date on things. So let's get this right. Let's see if you guys can see that picture now.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just run it. Hopefully the sound works. Where's the play button here? Okay. All right. All right, so working?
It's all in our hands, this life of time that's given to us all. It gathers round each night, each morn. We watch it pass and grow. It is all in our hands, it is all in our hands. With every field and rising sea, can hear the sounds of all, and with every change we'll always be where hope's not lost but found. It is all in our hands, it is all in our hands. It is all in our hands, it is all in our hands.
There you go. All right, so we saw that, right?
And I was getting a little emotional there because I'm seeing these lads for 2 weeks, you know, and you get so attached to them. It brought a smile on my face seeing them out there.
Yeah, and I could see that. I thought that was well done. That was interesting
Great
song,
song.
there that you picked. Yeah, fantastic
Yeah.
song.
Great song.
All in Our Hands. So what inspired you to take on this team?
Well, I hadn't planned on it for sure. The last thing in my mind was coaching an old guys team. You know, It's like, I'm used to working with elite players or younger players. And first of all, it intrigued me when I got a phone call from the manager of the club, Joe Rich, and he asked me. He said he was looking for a coach. Would I like to be the coach of the team? And then he told me it was an over 50 team. So I was intrigued a little bit about it. So I said to Nicole, let's go and watch them scrimmage. They were playing a preseason exhibition game. So I said, bring the cameras just in case we decide to do this, right? So we went to watch them play in a friendly against an Irish club. And they looked very disorganized. It was like going to somebody's house on Thanksgiving when the family argues and that uncomfortable kind of feeling. I saw them at halftime and I made my mind up. I mean, it was really a disorganization. The guys had passion, but all the pieces were not together. And I said to Nicole, man, we got to be part of this. This could be a lot of fun because they need a lot of work. And so we decided, we talked to the team and I told them what my expectations would be if I took over. And that included making a long form documentary over, multiple episodes. And I told them flat out, I said, this is not going to be a promotional documentary for the team. It's going to be reality. And so whatever happens during the season, good or bad, it's going to be in there. And that's my condition, to tell a true story about the season. And I think reluctantly they decided, okay, let's give it a shot. And then we moved from then.
Great. And then in episode 1, you share a raw conversation with your wife, Nicole. How important was her support in committing to this project?
We couldn't have done it without her. And the guys, I think the players at Burlington Football Club will be the first to say that. The amount of gratitude that she's being given from the players. And here's the thing. Let me point out something here. Every player who plays the sport, John, loves to see themselves on video, right? That's the first person you look for. If it's a highlight tape, you look for yourself, right? I did.
Right.
Everybody does, and you love being on camera. These guys are never on camera, right? They're never on camera. It's not like they're a college Division I program or a pro team or a semi-pro team. They're over 50 team. Nobody brings a camera. They don't even know how to work a camera, these guys, right?
Right.
No, they do, but they never get covered. They're not in the spotlight. And so Nicole was incredibly instrumental in capturing some lifelong cherished moments for these guys on camera. And well, she can tell you.
Well, I feel like since they weren't used to the camera, some of the guys felt like they were going to run me over because I get really up close and personal and I do chase. And I look at him, I said, don't worry, I will find my way out of wherever I am, or I will get out of the way. But that I love to do that, is make the memories, not only for the players, but for their families. So you have to be reminded, these are some fathers and even grandfathers. And even if nobody watched this, they have those memories for their family forever. And I go in it with that aspect. And then I also go and I try to find someone who may have never been highlighted in their whole entire career. And I tend to gravitate that way as well. So I wanted to include just about everybody that I possibly could and not miss anybody in this documentary or the filming process.
And she didn't miss one goal, and she got every goal perfectly. But we also had GoPro cameras on the goalposts, John. The goalposts, right. And we had about 7 cameras overall. We had some people. We had recruited videographers whose main focus was, one videographer was to focus on the bench, our bench.
He did great.
And I've got a microphone on, so it's very intimate. You hear everything going on the bench. We had another cameraman focusing on the other bench, their reaction to everything that was going on. Nicole was, 360 around the field, right in the face. It is probably one of the most intimate documentaries where you're allowed to be, you feel like you're standing right here in the huddle. every team talk, pre-game, halftime, everything. And you start to recognize certain characters in the episode as it evolves, and you'll feel like you'll be looking for that guy next time, you know, just where he operates on the team, the things he says, and it's really interesting in that regards. But to back up what Nicole said, we decided to say, look, even if we don't get any views on this, which I know we will because we have a pretty strong following, but even if we didn't get any, to give these guys a gift where they were documenting. She caught the great moments. I'll give you an example. It was one guy from Ukraine, not from Ukraine, from Albania. Never scored a goal in his life, right? He's a defender, never scored a goal in his life. He scored two in one game, and they are just caught perfectly. One camera behind the goal, 2 diving headers, by the way, right?
Wow.
To see him in slow motion in the documentary after he scored his second one with his hands up, just like he'd won the World Cup, and that's captured. I mean, that'd be priceless for him.
And I couldn't be quiet. You can hear me screaming in the background because I was probably happier for him than he. I almost ran on the field.
Yeah. And our manager also is one of our forwards, and he's never scored a goal, even though he plays forward. He had never scored a goal. I don't know how long. And his only dream was to score 1 goal in a game, right?
Right.
And we captured that, you know. We captured his first goal that he ever scored, and that meant to him like winning the World Cup. It was just everything. And so being able to give these guys this digital document, this memory board that, like she said, their children are going to Christmas come around the TV and look at them. Their families in Albania can watch this documentary and see them. It's such a special gift, and we're so happy that we could do this for them.
Right. Now, we don't want to give too much away, but the team started out before you took over, like you said, dead last, but you did pretty good the following year.
Yeah,
you took over.
I don't. They weren't dead last; they were bottom of the league. They were right at the bottom with
okay.
They bought
Almost dead last.
I think this is probably to add clarity. It was in desperate need of help.
Okay.
And so we went when I took over. We had an unbeaten season. We went undefeated, and there's 2 seasons: the spring and the fall. The whole documentary is about the spring season when I was there. The beginning of the fall, I wasn't there because I had surgery. I had ankle surgery, and knee surgery, and they messed up. They lost 2 games when I was in hospital.
Oh, geez.
But in the fall, what the documentary focuses on is our unbeaten season. So I just want to clarify that. But yeah, it was extraordinary, really extraordinary.
So when you first saw these group of guys, what was your vision for the team, and how did it evolve?
Well, I knew I could bring a massive amount of enthusiasm injected immediately into the club. That's on me. That's on nobody else. I could bring in enthusiasm. I could bring in experience, 50 years of coaching experience. Like you pointed out before, John, at that level, at senior football, adult football, you don't get experienced coaches spend their time with, an over 50 team. And this was all passion from it. This was not a paid gig. It probably cost us about $20,000 overall in terms of time and everything to even make this documentary. So we weren't doing it for the money. We were doing it because we thought it was going to be a great story to tell because for this particular reason. Senior football, I'll focus in on America right now since that's, where we're based, is the most neglected area of soccer in the soccer world, right? You see on TV professional, semi-pro games. You see college games on TV. You see all these travel teams getting exposure on social media. You never see anything. They're the most neglected in terms of any spotlight on them whatsoever. And there's a reason for that, okay? One, there's no money in senior football.
Yeah.
So there's no money. There's going to be nobody navigating there, nobody's aspiring to coach into that. There's no money. All the money's in the youth programs and all these different programs out there. And So we wanted to change that. First thing we did was we started a fan page on Facebook, and we have nearly 600 fans from around the world who follow us on Facebook now. And they closed in on about 500,000 views on their on social media, that the videos we posted for them during the season. A Division I college, your top Division I college teams in the US don't get 500,000 views, you know?
Right.
So
True.
they are, and I'll say this in with all confidence, Burlington City are the most watched over 50 soccer team in the world right now. And there's only one reason that happened, was effort. We were relentless on putting out posts, making social media posts, creating a Facebook page, doing all this stuff, relentless with that purpose to give them exposure. And they were rejuvenated. None of those players thought at that point in their career there would ever be, like, you know, professional photographs of them, headshots, all this kind of stuff, video highlights. It was just, it went from black to white in a couple of weeks. It was crazy.
But I feel like the word relentless is, they also gave us the gift of being
Oh,
relentless on the field.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and you know, like with an over 50, you're going to have all sorts of different, you know, people who are dreaming of being of having played and getting filmed, like you said. But you've also got, I'm sure, you know, you got fathers, of course. You've probably, like you said, maybe even grandparents. I don't know, but you know, people who maybe been through a lot of challenges in their lives. You know, health issues, whether it's that, whether it's personal issues with their life, things going on. How did you guys capture that, or did you?
Well, yeah, we did, and that was one of the core reasons we wanted to tell the story about, is why are these guys keep playing soccer after 50? And particularly, you know, young kids quit playing sports. You know, 80% of kids quit playing sports by the age of 13.
Yeah.
And why are these guys still playing? Now, I will tell you, not all of them were soccer players in high school or college. These aren't ex-college Division I players or college pros or anything. Some of these guys played basketball or lacrosse and just took up soccer later on in life. As you get older in life, it tends to be harder to make friends. You tend to have fewer friends as you get older. Statistically, that's a fact, okay? And these guys, the camaraderie that they get, and that's one big proportion of why they play in this sport, is the camaraderie that they have with one another, the friends that they have. And they are true friends. These guys are amazing. Joe Rich, the manager, who's the nicest guy you'll ever meet, we had an intimate conversation in a restaurant, and we filmed it in one of the last episodes of the documentary. And we talked about the camaraderie in senior football. And, you know, when BCSE is not special in that area, you'll find that all these older, over 50s, over 40s, they hang out. You know, they tailgate afterwards.
100%.
They'll drink beers and they'll share stories. And Joe was, it's just me and Joe talking, and he was telling me, he says, soccer in Connecticut on some of the teams has saved some of their players' lives. We didn't get into the detail of it, but he told me flat out that if it wasn't for soccer, from a mental standpoint, some of these guys were at the edge in their lives, had nowhere to turn, and soccer saved them. Having that camaraderie and that friendship. You know, my captain, Mark Schatz, he wanted to put some sheetrock in his house, you know, and up on his ceiling, and he made 3 phone calls, and 3 of the guys were there within half an hour helping him, you know, and the team putting up sheetrock. I mean, it is just, they would do anything for each other.
Mark even said to us, if you need anything, you pick up that phone and I will be there. That's just camaraderie of the whole team. And it's,
well, you know, it is quite unique, John, when you think about this. I think about the competitive teams that I've coached. Other than Division I players are different because they're isolated. You know, you've got those players around you 24/7 when you're coaching Division I players on the college level. But let's say take a club example. Let's say a boys under 16 team or girls, whatever. They don't congregate like that after games and hang out for a couple hours together. They jump in the car and they're off with their mum and dad, or there might be small little groups, but not as a team like that. I think it's very unique to see.
Yeah. Well, I think, like I said, I play beer league hockey, I guess we call it up here in Canada. And there are a lot of old timers teams here. And I hear the same thing, is that, you know, like we haven't played now in a while because they tore our rink down. And so we have nowhere to play. And we kind of disbanded, but we still get together once a year, have a big, you know, dinner together. That friendship, we're still friends with each other. We still contact each other. And that, you know, I mean, I'm sure every old timer team can be a documentary, but it isn't. I think the fact that you guys have brought that age group and it's going to represent all old timers and the problems that they have, and the camaraderie that not just your team experienced, but I think almost every old timer team experience in any sport.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's
I'm
interesting.
looking forward to watching the whole series because
That's
of that, because you don't see it on TV.
John, that's interesting you pointed that out, because in fact it is. I did a lot of searches online for over 50 documentaries, I filmed it, whatever footage I could find. There is hardly anything. You got to do like a forensic investigation to find anything about over 50 soccer online. And it's a shame, because I think that people think that over 50 soccer, over 40 soccer, whatever, senior soccer is like walking soccer.
I was gonna say
You
that.
know, it's like
not.
recreation, it's walking, and it's not. I'm telling you, it gets rough out there. You've seen this documentary, some of the tackles that are flying, people go at it. It's full of emotion. You're playing against a team, different cultures, really. There's a team we play in the documentary who are a phenomenal team from Hartford, Connecticut. It's all Jamaican, right? All of them are Jamaicans, and those are ballers, man.
Athletes.
And those guys look like Premier League players. You want to see them. You know, they look like 25-year-olds and the 55. They got that body build, everything. Or we play an Hispanic team. And those guys are full of emotion. They wear their heart on their sleeve when they play. There's just nonstop emotion from these guys. And every play, every tackle. And some of those tackles that you see, and they hit hard. And it's not a weak league.
When you say old timers, you will be blown away when you see some of these players play. It's not. If you say the word old timer, just like Shaun said, people may automatically gravitate to, is it walking soccer? Am I going to be bored? It's the polar opposite of that. It is the polar opposite. I've seen tackles and I've seen these guys do crazier things than I've seen college kids do. They are just, their hearts and souls are in it. You would not think they were playing in an over 50 league, because they are playing like to win it. They are in it to win it.
Well, think about this. Ponder this for a second. 90% of people, right, over the age of 30, never sprint again in their life. That's a statistic. 90% of people never sprint again beyond the age of 30. And you got 50-year-olds. I wouldn't call it sprinting what they do.
Right. Running as fast as they can.
It's hard. It's as good as you can sprint when you're 50, you know? The nuances tactically that it was different. It was certainly different tactically, the things you can do and can't do. You know, you could press for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but then you would need 10 minutes to recover. The substitution, I had to come up with a whole different approach for my tactics or my styles of play that would fit in with that kind of physical limitations. So it was interesting.
That's great. I'm looking forward to watching the whole series. So where can people find the series?
Well, it's going to drop. It's going to drop on my YouTube channel at SoccerCoachTV. It'll start off there, and we're looking at other platforms such as Roku and some other different platforms. But there'll be teasers, and there'll be parts of it on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. But the primary home for it initially is going to be on YouTube channel, because that's where the majority of our base of our fans go to watch our content.
And are you dropping one every week, or are they all coming out at the same time?
No, it'll be one a week for 4 months.
Okay. That sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Couple more questions here. What role did rituals like beers in the parking lot after games play in building camaraderie?
Well, I think that, like we said before, it was they value the friendships of the guys I hang around with, and it's sincere. You know, they get together. It's a sense of community, a sense of belonging to a pack. And as I said before, as you get older, it's harder to maybe have great friends in your life. You know, the other things that may be going on. But when you see the documentary we do shoot, then sitting in the parking lot, you know, drinking beers, talking, having laughs. It normally starts off with a discussion about the game, you know,
Right.
How he scored a great goal. He did a great goal, a great free kick. Or he should have scored this, or
What could have been done differently.
yeah, it could have been done differently. The saves from the goalkeeper. It talks about that, but you know, it's. I don't think the experience would even come close to being the same if after the game they just got in their cars and left.
Right.
Here's the thing, John, and I say this in one of my team talks in a documentary. What's the most important part of a chair? I'll ask you a question. What's the most important part of a chair?
Of a cheer?
Of a chair. A chair. What's the most
chair. Oh, chair. I would say the legs.
Okay. No, I don't think it's the legs. You want another guess?
The seat.
No, it's not the seat. You want another guess?
I give up.
The most important part of the chair is the screws, right?
Good one, yes.
Because it keeps it all together, right? Without the screws, the chair would fall apart.
Right.
But the screws are the things you don't see, right? And it's like that with this team. What you don't see if you just at the park watching this team play would be a bunch of 50-year-old guys. You don't see the commitment to their camaraderie, to their friendships off the field at the time they spend with each other. That the emotional support that they give each other beyond the field, you don't see that. That's the most important. That you don't see them training on a Thursday night when it's freezing cold. These 50+ guys, you know, when it's easier to watch Netflix at home, you don't see all that.
Right.
But you do see it in the documentary. We do show it, and I think that was really important.
We lost
So
the
you
game.
covered
You said
covered
how
training sessions as well?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, you covered training sessions as well?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we changed the whole lot, top to bottom. I mean, the first practice that I had with the team, that was the first time that team ever warmed up together as a team.
Okay.
They would go to the games and, you know, stretch for 30 seconds and run on the field and play, you know, and so we changed all that. I mean, literally, they would show up 10 minutes before the game, right? 2-minute stretch, get on the field. I had them there, you know, 45 minutes for the game to start the warm-up. We would do professional warm-up. And watching these guys do the warm-up, they had no agility, you know, and little flexibility. You should see it. But by the end, we got there, you know. It was just even the way they dressed for the games and dressed for practice. Now, before I went there, at practice, maybe 8 or 10 players would show up. And they would have, you know, 3 or 4 balls and a couple of cones, you know, and that was one of the things that I injected into the training. It was more professional. You had training bibs, you had multiple balls there. You know, you had small-sided goals that we could do different stuff in. It was a whole transformation in terms of what they were doing and what they needed to do to go unbeaten that season.
Sorry, Nicole, I cut you off there. What were you saying?
So that was going back to the parking lot and the camaraderie. It was who said it? Mark. We had lost a game. What was the last game of the season? And no, not this season. It was the fall season. Yeah. And he looked at the team and he said, "You didn't beat us here, but we will beat you in the parking lot. Not physically beat, but we will beat you in the parking lot." And then, sure enough, one of the players comes down. He goes, "You weren't kidding." They had ordered pizzas and everybody was just sitting there talking and discussing the season and the game.
But John, I mean, I've made thousands of videos, short form videos on. We've never made a documentary, and that was one of the reasons we really wanted to get into this to to extend ourselves, you know, to put ourselves in a spot where we're doing something we'd never done before. The art of documentary making is an art on its own. It's not like putting a camera, videotaping a drill and putting it out there. It was a crash course on how to make a documentary and how to tell a story through that. So there's a lot of back end work in it. We shot 100 hours of video during the season. And of that 100 hours of video, about 70% of it, 75% of it won't be shown.
Yeah,
it's that 16 episode represents only maybe 30 hours of that was shot. It took 300. It took me over 300 hours to edit all those documentaries.
Right. So you did the editing yourself, I take it?
I mean, there's no better editor if you've got the skill as a coach to do it, because you look at it through a different lens than somebody who's a tech guy editing,
Right.
And you know what to look for as a coach. So that's another unique layer to it. But yeah, it took 300 hours to edit it, because I had to watch the whole season all over again, multiple times shot by different cameras to pick out maybe the best clip here, the best clip there. And what people don't realize, and you only get this as you go through it, is how important the music is in documentaries, right?
Yeah.
Finding the right music. You can't just put anything on if you don't have a license for it.
That's
so we
right.
had to buy the licenses for every song, try to fit the right song to tell it. Like you just showed that video at the beginning of this podcast.
Yep.
That song was perfect.
Yes. It was
And
really
so
good.
you're trying to do that with every, with action, with different stuff going on. It's a long process.
Yeah, and you got to find songs that are you probably never heard of yourself. They're not top 40.
Yeah. Well, one
not
interesting thing, John, that I did do, I implemented AI into the documentary too.
Okay. All right.
And do you know who Mr. Beast is?
Is that a Netflix series right now or something? Or?
Mr. Beast is on Netflix.
Mr. Beast is mostly YouTube and
Yeah.
he's
Mr. Beast is probably the biggest YouTuber in the world, right? Biggest channel.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And somebody asked him, what makes your videos interesting? And he says, I always think of a purple cow. He said, what do you mean by that? So, John, if me and you were driving down a country road and we saw a cow in the field, you might say, hey, there's a cow, Shaun. And say, hey, yeah, there's a cow. We drive past. Next day we go past and there's a purple cow. We probably wouldn't drive past. We would probably stop the car, go to the fence, and like, what the hell is a purple cow doing here, right? It just bang, catches your attention. And you'd probably talk about it when you got home to your wife or whatever. Hey, you know what I saw? I saw a purple cow today. It was amazing. He tries to put a purple cow in every video. Okay. Something that'll make you say, hey, you know what? I saw this in a video yesterday. You got to watch it. It's crazy. And so we have a picture of a purple cow on our refrigerator at home. And that to remind us was every episode had to have a purple cow in it. Something that you just don't expect to be in this documentary. And I did use AI. Obviously, we couldn't have a professional sports commentator at our games. Right. We just couldn't afford it, the bottom line. So what we did was I got on AI and I generated the voice through text, and I got a professional soccer English commentator's voice, and I give them the data they needed, like Jones passing the ball to Smith, there's a bicycle kick, and I told them to make it poetic, like the English Premier League, and it's phenomenal. Now we overlay that over the game footage we have. We've got professional commentators. We've got some anime, like Japanese cartoons illustrating the team in there. There's some nuggets in there that I think people are going to really like.
And there's one, I was the purple cow, and I'm not giving it away.
Yeah, a lot of purple cows.
No, don't say it.
Watch out for the monkey. That's all I'm saying, John. Watch out for the monkey who shows up on the soccer field now and then.
Boy, we're gonna run out of time for all these questions I have for you. Just going to personal stories a little bit. I'm sure everyone has a story of their own. Did you follow some players off the field in their personal lives at all? Did you take that tack a little bit?
We felt it was important to get to know our players beyond the field. For example, when I was coaching Division I athletes, I spent nearly every day with these guys, so I know them very, very well intimately. It's different on an amateur level. You see these guys once or twice a week, and so purposely what we did was one of our goalkeeper is a musician. He's a high school teacher, but he plays in bars at night and he loves music. So we went there and we filmed him. We brought the cameras down there. We filmed him playing his music at the bar, and some of the players were there too. So I just wanted to see what his life was like, what his passions were like outside of football. Another guy's a bartender at it's almost like a cowboy. You know what line dancing is? Yeah. So he works at this nightclub bar. We went there. I went behind the bar as a bartender helping him, and we filmed it all. And I'm making drinks and line dancing at there. I mean, it's just fun. It just breaks up everything from just soccer. It gets you outside. But
so you did get into the personal lives of some of the players. A little bit like I think that was the thing that really caught my attention with Welcome to Wrexham. I'm sure you guys have watched that. Is some of the players had their issues and they went behind the scenes and I think that made a lot of people watch that series, and obviously we're hoping that yours gets the same audience. If you do that, I think you'll get people following people. So the musician there, I guess he was your keeper, you were saying, did you use some of his music that he had composed?
We unfortunately couldn't use it because we would have been flagged he does cover songs.
Okay.
Therefore, which is very unfortunate because Adam is a talented musician. I ironically went to high school with him, and he was back then, but we had to.
The copyright laws with YouTube are really strict. So a cover band, you can't do that. So we did put appropriate music while he was playing there for that. But yeah, I mean, YouTube's ridiculous. I remember one video I made of my team warming up, and the whole thing was how do college teams warm up. And I put this video on there, and they took it down because on the PA system, right, while we were warming up, they had music on.
Oh, geez.
And YouTube detected that music and wouldn't put it on because we didn't have rights for it. And just a side note, an interesting fact, one of our players on the team, John Holt, a Jamaican guy, his dad is a really famous reggae singer worldwide. In fact,
Brian Holt, his dad's name is John Holt. There you go.
In fact, his godmother is Bob Marley's wife. And
wow.
We got a few. Some of the guys have got great stories. One's a beekeeper.
Two are beekeepers.
Yeah, two are beekeepers. One guy's got a couple of hundred bees, beehives.
Wow.
That we got a doctor in the team. We've got international businessmen, construction workers. They come from all demographics into the team.
Wow. Yeah, it's. I'm looking forward to watching it all. You mentioned here that there was a scandal also at some point.
Well, I told you we went undefeated, right?
All right.
The caveat to that, we did lose one game, 3-2. However, we knew before the game that this team was not playing from the same deck that we were playing from, right? They were cheating. And this guy is like a really well-known guy in our community, soccer community. He's like, what? The guy's like a gazelle. He's a phenomenal player. And it's funny, but he's not 50 yet. And it's strange saying the illegal player was too young to, he was too young. It's normally, you got a this guy's too old to play for this team. But they went to the point of even fabricating the photograph, because we have to hand in photo ID. They had a fake ID with somebody who looked like him but wasn't him. So they went to the extent of putting that and a different name when, you know, everybody knew. So they played it out. We lost 3-2, and we thought that was it. We just lost 3-2, but somebody appealed, and it wasn't us. It was another team appealed it, and they lost, deducted 12 points for the legal player who played in 4 games. They suspended the coach for 6 months. But again, you don't mind losing as long as, if you're playing blackjack, as long as we're playing from the same cards, you accept it. But if you're playing from a different deck, I have no sympathy for them at all. So we retained our unbeaten status.
Wow.
However,
So that's the controversy. Sounds
And
for someone to find a picture that looks like him, boy, that's
and the last
for
game
over
of the
50s, that's much too much.
That's what I said. I said it was like if your kid was playing t-ball and you gave the umpire $50. You know, it was too much. That was my analogy for it. However, I do have to say that team, and I don't want to give up too much, there are a lot of great players on that team that I'm sure hadn't had a part of it. And I have to give them credit for, just because we socialized with them afterwards. And
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure not everybody was in on it.
I just think there's a life lesson there.
Yes.
Right.
It's a life lesson,
sure.
but
For sure. And you also mentioned that you had an illness there through one of the episodes. You were struggling.
Oh, we got hit hard. Both of us got hit hard. Some virus knocked us out. And but again, for continuity, we had to do it. And as a coach, no matter how you feel, what kind of shitty day you have, and we all have those days, you got to flip the switch. The players don't care. You've got to get out there and do your stuff and keep the tempo, enthusiasm. It was tough, but to be honest, John, when you see me in that documentary, I was in pain every single episode. I was in pain every time I went to training, at the games. You know, I'm walking with a limp. I had an injury. And it was right after the season that I got a total knee replacement. And I feel like I'm 20 now. What a difference. It's incredible to be able to just walk without any pain. I was walking for ages with pain. And it's just been a total transformation for me in terms of walking around. I feel like a kid again, running around that field.
Wow. Well, that's great. So you recommend people who have knee issues get that knee replacement done?
Definitely. Well, you know, one of the benefits of even just playing active football at that age, look, it increases your longevity, your lifespan playing any sport, let alone just soccer. After that, I saw a stat: only 26% of adults over 50, right, do any form of active exercise, regular exercise. 26%.
Right. Yeah. So talking about longevity, I'm going to just switch the topic a little bit, because I did mention it in a post that I wanted to talk about something that's a bit different. And you talked about, exercise and you talked about, camaraderie, and talked about injuries, knee replacement. But you and I both had an issue where, if it wasn't for the medical profession of today that can perform miracles, basically, and save lives, you've had a cardiac arrest where your heart stopped, like I did, and I can't go a day without thinking about my incident and the people at paramedics that brought me back to life, and then the doctors that put stents in me and kind of keep me going. Talk to me about your incident and what you had.
That was about 20 years ago. I just got back from a recruiting trip in Europe. And I knew that night I got home, my chest was tight. I knew I was having a heart attack because 2 weeks prior, I did a CPR course. Right. And it was fresh in my mind, and I knew I was dying. And long story short, they called the ambulance, rushed me to the hospital, got an emergency room, rushed me in, ripped my clothes off, and I flatlined. I was gone. And they put the paddles on my chest, and it took them 4 attempts to get my heart beating again. And, you know, the surgeon told me afterwards, he said, once we put the paddles on your chest, he says, you got a 1 in 10 chance of living. Now, John, you think about it a lot. I know you do. When you go through something like that, there's not a day goes by that you don't feel so much gratitude in the smallest things in life. And the little things in life, you just don't tolerate them anymore. You don't care about them. The little things, the little petty stuff, you don't care about it. And it's a strange thing to say, but if somebody told me that you got a choice, you can live your life healthy, right? Or at some point in your life, you can have a massive heart attack, die, and come back, but we'll guarantee you'll come back, right? I'm not convinced that I wouldn't choose that choice again. I've gone through that experience because I don't know if anything else would have impacted the way I think other than going through that, dying, coming back. I don't think anything else in life would have given me the gratitude that gave me. It would.
Right.
I wouldn't be the same person today in terms of how I embrace life and how I'm just gratitude. I talk about this in the documentary too, about there's joy in so many small things around us every single moment. And you've got to stop, and it sounds corny, but it's not. You've got to find the joy in those little things. The fact that, you know, you're walking upright, you're standing, you can walk around without pain. You know, your family, your friends, and there's so many things to be grateful for in life. But for some people, it's just never enough.
Yeah.
Some people, there's always complaining. It's never enough. It is enough. The
Yeah.
fact that you're here and on this planet, man, is all just the biggest gift of all.
And your, if I'm correct, there was family history in your family with heart disease.
Yeah, my father died of a heart attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
But look at me now.
Yes. Well,
look at
you
me
know,
now.
listen,
I got to believe. I'm sure you do too. There's a reason you're back here. You know, it's a reason you didn't go. You're out. You know, I was seconds away from never even.
right.
seeing.
No, hey,
John, think about the things we've seen after that moment that we weren't supposed to.
I got to see Venice.
Yeah, you can see Venice. I got a
You're right.
granddaughter. I would never see my granddaughter. She was born
Same
this
here.
year. I would never made a documentary. I'd never married this beautiful woman right here. The things that I think about that would never happen. And it could have been like that.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't change you, man. That doesn't change, man. Nothing will.
Yeah. So, you know, one of the things I even wrote an article on this, which appeared in Soccer Journal. Sometimes the biggest decision in your life is your own. And the one thing I would say, and I tell people all the time, two things. First of all, if you're feeling any kind of pain up here, it started for me up here, when in the back and the chest, not necessarily the left arm. Call an ambulance. Don't be stupid, especially men. We tend to maybe not take action and think, oh, it's nothing. Take action, call 911 and get looked after. But also, if you have family history, it's bigger than what people lead you to believe. You know, they talk about cholesterol, they talk about foods, and they talk about blood pressure and all that. But I think if you've got family history of heart disease, make it a point to go get checked out regularly. It could save your life.
Everybody's got 1,000 dreams, right? Until you're sick, and then you've only got one.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. Yeah. So I didn't want to leave on a sour note. So let's just go back to your film for a second. Give us some, because we're over an hour here, and you guys probably want to go visit the beach and dive in. So give us some parting thoughts on your film, on your YouTube channel, and what you're planning to do going forward.
What was that?
Some parting things.
Yeah, I think
with the film, with your channel.
sum it up. If I could sum it up with this, what those over 50 team, two things that I took away from that, and Nicole could speak for herself. One was the amount of gratitude that they showed for what we contributed to that team. You really felt. I've coached teams before where I felt, man, I either was undervalued or wasn't appreciated as much as I thought I should have been for the amount of effort that I'd put in and work. These guys showed us so much gratitude. And when you're working with people who show gratitude, man, it's so much easier to give you 100%, right? And the second thing was, you can never add age to your life, John, but you can always add life to your age, right? And they do that on the football pitch every Sunday morning. They add life to their age. And that's what I take away from it more than anything else, you know? No, they're just great guys. I love them. Love every one of them.
Bouncing on what you just said is, at over 50, there aren't that many life lessons you can teach these adults who haven't been through it already. However, going into it, when you coach, you teach the young lads or adults how to be men, how to be, women. These guys, there's nothing, because they have gone through life enough. And what I thought we gave to them was the opposite, is to teach them how to be kids again. And to have, the fun on the field and just.
It's Everton in that documentary where I did this exercise with noodles, right? Where you had to chase a partner and try and tag him with a noodle.
It was great.
And then we
Kung
also
fu fighting.
We also did a shadow boxing in the warm up where you get a partner, you pretend you're fighting. It was just to get the body moving,
It was great.
You get it going, get the joints moving. But when she captured them, and you look at it, you would think they were 12 years of age.
They were laughing.
Right?
They were enjoying themselves. It was great.
Yeah, they just felt. Again, I think our job was, and it came across that way, was to make them feel like young kids playing football again. It was great. Made it fun for them.
Great. Well, listen, thanks very, very much for being on our webinar. And anytime you want to come back on, we'd be happy to have you. We'd love to have you back on. I'm sure you're going to feed us the information so that we can share it with all our coaches in our database.
Grab a beer, glass of wine, sit on your couch, pull up the YouTube app on your TV. Don't watch it on your phone. First episode, give you some context, is about me getting the call, us going to the game, watching them play for the first time, and then you'll see us make that final decision that, hey, yeah, let's be part of this.
But we're not going to give much.
And every episode is between 30 and 35 minutes.
Great. Well, listen, good luck with it, and I hope you get a huge audience. We're going to do our best to try and promote it for you.
Thanks,
and I'm just going to close off here by showing the rest of that video.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
All right, guys, thanks very much.
Thank you.
And we know the change will surely come. Maybe one more trip around the sun, but we'll gather here where land meets sea, where we can be as one. And we know the change will surely come. Maybe one more trip around the sun, and we'll gather here where land meets sea, where we can be as one. It is all in our hands. There's life